Welcome to SD classes. Today we are going to learn the topic models. Models is prescribed in almost every standard grammar. Even in the competitive exams also it is asked. Today in this video we will discuss the types, or you can say different models, how to use them in the sentences, how in exam the questions are asked, and last we'll be having the exercise. Let's begin about it. So very first we have models, and with models are shown verb first form. So what I want to say in this picture, that with all the models we use verb first form only. We do not use verb second form, third form or ing form, but the only thing is that model should be in a pure, or you can say original form. We should not, if we are adding any kind of other word like be, have, then of course the verbs form will change. But if the model is in the same form, if the model is in original form, then we have to apply only verb first form. Here we have the 14 models name. Generally students do not remember the 14 models name, so remember that models are 14. Earlier they were 13. The 14th one which have been added, that is have to have underlined it. So if you remember these models in this sequence only, like will, shall, can, may, and we convert into past, like will to would, shall to should, can to could, may to might. And last, then after that we have 3 to 2, that means ought to, used to, have to. And for last 3 models I have given a trick. If you like, you can add this trick, life की need को पूरा करने के लिए dare करनी पड़ती है, this life must हो जाती है. So I have used here need, dare and must. So in this manner you can remember all the 14 models. Next we have the examples that how to use the models. Models are used generally as helping of only. So I can say that in a model, means in a sentence where you are using model, you cannot use the helping of tense. Like I have used the sentence, he can speak Chinese. So here with can I have used speak as verb, so it's verb first form, and can is used at the place of helping of. Helping of means I can say the helping of tenses like has, a, will, shall, or even is, am, are. So these all are helping of. So at the place of helping of we are using model, and with model I am using verb first form. Another example, you may take the book to school and she should take the medicines regularly. So this is the way how we use models in a sentence. Next, very first we are going to begin with will, shall. With I and we generally use shall. With other subjects except I, we use will. Simply if I say, then remember that with I and we in writing we have to write shall, and with other subject except I, we use will. Like I have given the example, I shall join this job tomorrow, he will come next week. Now see, sometimes it happens that you listen that with I and we people are using will also. So here there is an exception of the above rule, that when a sentence gives a sense of threat, promise, resolution or determination, these all 4 things are just almost giving the same kind of meaning. That means you have made up your mind, you have decided. So in that situation what happened, that the helping verbs are interchanged with the subject. That means with I and we use will, and with other subject we use shall. Like we have the example, I will kill you, he shall surely pass the exam. So I will kill you, this gives the sense of threat, and he will surely pass the exam, so this shows determination. So due to this, these 4 conditions, the helping verbs change with the subject. Will, shall is also used to offer, like shall I call the doctor, shall I go there, shall I help you. So these are the offering. And even for polite requests we add please, and it becomes polite request like will you please move aside. And in question tag, especially let's, remember this is very important one, that with let's we have to apply shall we. So whenever the question tag is asked like let's play football, and the question tag is given, that in that you have to answer only shall we. Next is can. Can is used as a general ability, and when you are making negative it becomes disability, and at the same place it becomes possibility also, because your ability shows that maybe the things are possible, maybe not. In the same manner, like I can give the example, I can learn 4 books in an hour. So it shows my ability. But if I am not able to remember it, if I am not able to learn it, that shows somewhere possibility also. And if I convert this sentence into negative, then it becomes disability. Let's talk about capacity, strength, possibility, physical strength, you can say also. So these things are connected to our physical, you can say, power. So therefore I can lift 4 chairs in a hand. So this is my physical strength. If I talk about informal permission, we use can. Informal permission and informal request both means almost same. What is informal? Let's clarify it. Informal means the permission or the request you are making to either the peer group means the people who are of same status or same age, or the younger people. But the people who are elder, who are respectable, to those we use formal permission only, formal request only. So can we never use for formal permission, like you cannot say to your teacher, can I come in? The best way is you should say, may I come in. So may is used for formal permission, but can is used for informal. If I talk about could becomes the past form of can. Wherever the can is used at the place of can in the past, we use could, like he could play well in the last match. So this shows his ability as well as capacity. My uncle could run 5 kilometers in an hour when he was young. This shows his capacity, but it is past capacity. If I talk about polite request of formal permission, could give the sense of present. Earlier the could was giving the sense of past ability or capacity, but here could, while used for permission, it gives a sense in present, like could you please give me your book. Could is also used to show possibility somewhere, like he could win gold medal in the coming up Olympic Games. Next we have may. May is used for possibility and might is used for remote possibility. What is remote possibility and what is possibility? Remote possibility means which is having less chances to be completed. Like in may, I have used the weather is cloudy, it may rain today. So I have given the chance that is cloudy, the weather is cloudy, that's why it may rain today. But if I take the might example, that means remote possibility, the weather is fair, so it might rain today. Why might? Because the weather is already fair, so there is almost no chance of rain. So that is why we use might for remote possibility and may for possibility. For formal permission, as I already told you, that when we go to the class, we ask the teacher, may I come in, may I know your name. And for cursing and blessing also we use may you live long, and this is bless. And if I talk about curse, may you die soon. So one more thing is that whenever we talk about purpose means there should be a kind of cause and purpose both. In that situation also we use may, like we eat so that we may live. So why we may live? What is the cause? That the reason is given, we eat. So what is the purpose of eating? That is mentioned, we may live. So whenever the purpose is mentioned, whenever we require to mention the purpose, we use may. As about remote possibility, we have already talked about might. Let's talk about the past of may. He told that he might join the school. Now see here, he told means it is showing past. So with past we use the past form of may, that is might. And again for purpose also, in the past form, like he worked hard so that he might pass. And for wishes, for blessing, for cursing also, he wished that I might live long. So in both the sentences, the first part which was given, he worked, that is past. He wished, that is past. So with this, what I use the past form of may. So remember this thing also, that whenever the first part of the sentence is in past, so we must use past only in the second part. Let's move next, that is would. Would is the past form of will. So that means wherever we want to use will in the past, that time we have to use would. Now you will be thinking that how we can use will which shows future and past. So here is the example, I thought that he would come next week. So I thought, that means I thought in the past. That he will come next week is wrong sentence. As I told you previously also, that with past we have to apply past only. So he will not, he would come next week. So why would is used here? Because I said I thought. Thought means it is in past. So with past we apply past only. For polite request, would you please pass the ball? It's very simple, very easy one. Generally people use it. Now one more thing, that whenever we have the choice and we have to make the preference, priority, In that situation also we use would. Like I would rather die than beg. So I have the choice. That means I will choose death, but I will not choose begging. So whenever we have two choices and we have to make the priority, we have to make the preference. For this we use would. And would is also used for past habits. After lunch he would generally have a short nap. So this is about past habit. Let's move next. We have should. Should is general advice or suggestion. She should read this book. Or we also use should with the conjunction lest. It is the thing should be noted in your notebook that whenever we find lest as conjunction, so we use should only as a model. There is no other choice to be used. Let's talk about next. Must is just like should only. The only difference is must is used for advice, but the advice is very strong advice, very emphatic. Emphatic means you can say where the force is given as if the warning is being made. So like if somebody is coming late in my class, so I will just advise him that you should come on time. But when the things are happening every day, so I have to warn him somewhere. So for warning we use must. So I will say you must come on time or you must not come lately. So it becomes a warning. So this is the main difference between should and must. So must is used for strong advice, warning, obligation and prohibition. Let's move next. We use have to, has to, had to, will have to. See, this is the new model which has been added. Earlier there were 13 models. After this now the models are 14. The main model is have to. Although it has to also as a present tense form, had to for past and will have to for future. It shows necessity as well as obligation, or you can say compulsion. Compulsion means by force you have to do, you are not interested to do this work, but by force, by your unwillingness you have to do this job. So therefore we use this model for showing compulsion, the things which become compulsory for us although we are not interested to do it. Like I have to clean my home. Why I have to clean? Because my mother or my parents have forced me to do it. She has to finish the test before the time gets over. Okay, why she has to finish? Because there is a boundary, there is a force, there is a limitation of time. So in this manner we use have to, has to, had to, will have to. You have to only remember that have to and has to is for present, had to is for past, and will have to is for future. Next we have ought to and used to. Ought to is just similar to should, or you can say must. Again the difference is ought to is used for moral duty, moral obligation. That means for moral advices you will use ought to. For general advices you will use should. But for advices which are becoming warning, which works as warning, we use must. So like we have you ought to obey your elders. So the sentence saying that you ought to obey your elders. So this becomes again a moral advice. Next we have used to. Used to is used for past habit. So now we have two models which are used for past habit. One is would and second is used to. For the habits which are recent in our past, or you can say the habits which were recently left, for that we can use would. But the habits which were in our life long ago, at the time we use used to. Like he used to read comic books in his childhood. Now remember how to make the negative of these kind of models which are ending with to. So I have the negative sentence, he used not to. Generally people don't know it and they use it in a wrong manner, like he used to not. But the right thing is he used not to read the comic books in his childhood. Next we have need and dare. Need shows necessity or requirement. I need your help. You need not this bike. See, I have made this negative sentence, I need not this bike. If I use I don't need this bike, then need becomes as verb and it works as tense. Like I don't, I have used don't. So it becomes not modal, it becomes only verb and use in tense. But here I am using need not. So need is working here as main verb also as well as modal also. So So therefore, this kind of model which works as a verb as well as helping verb or as well as modal. So that is known as semi-modal. So that is known as semi-modal. So dare is also a kind of semi-modal, like how dare you touch my pen, or you want to use it that why don't you dare. So here dare, why don't you dare, if I'm using, so dare becomes again a verb, and here I'm using how dare you touch my pen. So dare is working here as verb as well as modal. So dare is also a semi-modal which is used to show challenge or courage. So in this manner the model gets end here, and now we have the exercise number 1 and exercise number 2. It is integrated exercise which is asked in different exams. I expect the answers in the comment box, and if there is a doubt also I expect the question in comment box. So please write, if there is a doubt then write in the comment box, and if you know the answer please mention it in the comment box. And last, I would like to request you, if you like this video, subscribe our channel, share with your friends and hit like. Thank you.